keyboard navigation is fast. And it's even more fast in familiar environments like your code editor, websites that you frequently visit, or maybe that you're working on all day. It actually is worth breaking your templates out into partials or little fragments that you can combine into your templates later on. Walking backwards is actually a great way to calm your mind and clear your head, especially when things get kind of tense at work. Likert scales are a great way to measure feedback. I need to build my own code snippet reference library, and I'm going to use Obsidian, and I think it's going to change the game for me. One of the best things that I have done for my career is to cultivate the skill of listening. Now, I'm not talking about just hearing people and listening to them when they're talking to me. I'm saying when people are on your team and they are complaining about a process or something that is taking too long, whatever it is, that tells me that I have an opportunity to build something, make an automation, do something to help serve them, and it always repays me. Git is way scarier in a GUI, a graphical user interface. Just use the command line. Feature flags are magical, and I will be using them forever. One of the greatest design concepts for creating tools, whether that's with code or even using no code, other software, things like that, is to really capitalize on the settings or the configuration file, because those are going to be able to hold those things that need to be repeated over and over again, but maybe they need to be switched on and off depending on the situation. If you've hard-coded your stuff, it makes it really hard to go back in, find all of those instances, and fix them. You actually can automatically update your Selenium Chrome driver if you're willing to do some bash scripting. See the card. When you are releasing a new feature for your team, for example, I'm always working on a CMS admin, make write-ups immediately. Document the steps, do just a simple step-by-step for them to follow how to do something. I don't care if it's obvious or it seems obvious to, the creator. If you wait, you're going to forget it, or you're not even going to get to it. So do it as part of the project parameters. Like, you cannot finish your project until you've put that documentation out there. Commit and deploy your changes in smaller, more frequent collections or groups. I'm a professional developer, and I want to let you in on a secret. My code, all the code I've ever written, as well as basically everyone else's, is total garbage. Because guess what? We don't know what we're doing at the very beginning of a project. And we go through phases of trying something, figuring out a better way, refactoring it is what it's called. We're constantly in this cycle of improvement. So if you're trying to get a start, just start. That's where you need to be. Squash your migrations way more often. I know it says in the Django documentation that you should be able to feel free to make as many migrations as you want, but oh my goodness, waiting for hundreds of them to pile up is a nightmare. Using an hourglass is actually way more effective and less stressful for me than using some other type of Pomodoro style technique. Reduce motion or movement to increase productivity. Your emotions are always valid, but they are not always correct. And it's worth taking the time to delve into why you're feeling this way. What are you feeling exactly? Name those feelings. Talk to your therapist. Like, seriously, go to therapy. It makes a huge difference. I think my biggest takeaway from 2022 is I can do really great work despite MS. And that's not something that I was able to say last year. That's not something I was able to think about the last 4-ish years that I've had this diagnosis. But I think this year, looking back, is the first time that I can confidently say that I can keep going. I can keep putting out great work. I can keep learning. I can keep doing everything that I love, with limitations, of course. And that's okay. I'm embracing the entire aspect of what this means for me in my life and my work, the good and the bad. That's the only way that I've found anything meaningful or worthwhile, is when I embrace all of the truth, not just part of it. I hope some of these things can help you out in your work, and I will see you around on the next video. Thanks so much for your support.